Good afternoon. My name is Chuck Tillis, chairing today for this committee. My colleagues are Ms. Stapleton and Mr. Prater. Would you state your name and DLC number, please?
Kwame Johnson, 757-164.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone in the room with you? Would I like for them?
Yes, sir.
Melanie Book, the DOC Transition Specialist at Concordia Corrections. We also submitted a report on Mr. Johnson. Y'all should have that. If y'all don't, let me know.
Yeah. Do you have a question there in front of you, Mr. Johnson?
Of course, no. Record. Yes, sir.
That's your signature?
Sir?
I'm sorry. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. We have speaking as a victim today, Ms. LaFisha Johnson, and Ms. Franklin, your mother, is here with us also.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to read charges that we have against you today.
Yes, sir.
Your first-class offender. The offense is cruelty to a juvenile, 2 counts. Sentencing date was 9/22/2020. And the sentencing was 10 years consecutively to each count. Parole date 12/23/2024. Good time date is 2/26/2026. Full time date 12/23/2039. Would you like to make a statement before we begin?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I've been here. I took good time classes. I'm the head barber. I'm a trustee. I'm the head barber. I worked in the kitchen. I've been doing my best. I'm staying out of trouble up in here. I ain't have no write-ups. I never got rolled up or never got in no trouble. I always distanced myself from trouble. I just want to go home and take care of my family and my kids. My dad and my mom, they're sick. They need my help. I just ask for a second chance.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Today, Mr. Prater will be handling your case, but we're going to hear from the victim. Are you with us? Okay, you may go ahead. Would you state your name?
Yes, LaFisha Harvey. It's LaFisha Johnson Harvey.
Okay, you may proceed.
Yes, to me, it's very shocking that he is trying to get parole or probation or whatever he's trying to get because he molested 2 of my children. Second of all, we made an agreement that he would do all the time. So, and then he wouldn't have to register as a sex offender. So that was the deal. So he even going against the deal that we made. My daughter, so people can have an understanding, my daughter was a baby when I met him. My baby was 6 months. He was molesting my daughter since she was a baby. My daughter told me this was going on as long as she can remember, and I asked her why she didn't tell me, and she told me she didn't know what it was. So I'm just giving you the mental state of this man. My second daughter that he molested, with the first daughter too, he even wanted my daughter to call him father. Call him daddy. That's how sick he is. The time that he has gotten for 2 children, my children are damaged mentally because of this. It would never go away. I used to watch Snap on TV, and I used to try to protect my kids thinking I was doing something when I was actually living with a monster myself. I couldn't even think of how or when he was doing these acts, and he's so malicious and sneaky with it that my daughter told me he would do stuff while I'll go walk away to go cook. While I was actually, right in the room with everyone, because I never used to leave my kids like just sitting in a room with him without me. So it was like every time I walk away to go use the bathroom, I don't think he should not be released. So he is a monster. As many things that you don't even know that he have done. And to people in my family and people that I've known since he been in jail that have came forward to me and told me, he should do all this time. He shouldn't get out. And my daughter wanted to be here, but I forgot that it was 2 days. She wanted to speak. My 16-year-old, my children are really damaged because of him, mentally.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Prater, did you hear those remarks?
Yes, I did. And I've got a few questions whenever it's appropriate.
Okay, it's appropriate.
All right. Mr. Johnson,
Sir,
are you listening? Okay, I've got a couple of things every now and then, because we study so many cases. Some of these things just don't make any sense. And it's really egregious to me to read how the criminal justice system has failed the public on this particular case. You pled, let me ask you this, and of course, I've been doing this a long time, and I don't ask questions I don't know the answer to.
yes,
Did you admitted to cruelty to a juvenile, correct?
I copped out to it. I didn't have a lawyer. I didn't have the money for a lawyer. They went to court. I went to court like numerous of times. They said they was gonna throw the charge out, but I didn't have money for a lawyer. My public defender said it was a good plea to take, so I ended up taking it because I didn't have money for the lawyer. But he said, regardless of the fact, I was still gonna lose the case because it's he say and she say.
Did you commit any offense?
No, sir.
You didn't do anything wrong.
No, sir, at all.
Did you tell the judge that when you took your plea?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I was listening to my public defender, so, and I knew I was gonna lose the case unless I have a real lawyer. Me and this woman been together like on and off like 10 years. So I didn't put a lot of trauma in her life, so it's calm. I done wrecked vehicles. We had domestic abuse and stuff like that. So she just really out to get me, but I'm not. I don't know what to say. It's crazy.
Hey, well, let me say something then. You were originally charged with sexual battery of a juvenile, 2 counts.
Yes, sir. But they have
Indecent behavior with a juvenile, 2 counts, and aggravated rape. That's what you were originally charged with.
Yes, sir, but they ain't have no evidence at all whatsoever.
Well, that's not exactly accurate. Remember, I told you I usually know more than I may seem like, but they did have evidence. Evidently, because you chose to take a plea that's to something that's not even a sex crime. Do you have to register when you get out?
No, sir.
So even though you were arrested for having sex with 2 kids at 7, 8 years old, then you don't even have to register. So you're going to be moving in next door to somebody and you don't even have to register. That's what I mentioned about the failure of the criminal justice system. And you're going to go home and you've got kids of your own, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have you taken any sexual abuse courses since you've been arrested?
Yes, sir.
Name them.
Living in balance.
Well, that's not, that may have a component to it, but that's not a sexual abuse class, not geared specifically for somebody with the charges. And I understand you're not saying you committed these charges, but you're saying you committed some felonies because you pled guilty to it. So it's just really confusing in your situation
Yes,
You're
sir.
another sad thing about it to me is you're gonna be getting out in February of 26, no matter what we decide. Is that not correct?
I just took another class, so it's December the 28th. Yes, sir.
So you'll be getting out December of 25 next year.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so you're gonna get out next year. You don't have to register. In your eyes, you did nothing wrong. And in the court's eyes, you didn't commit a sex crime, so you don't have to register. So I'm just confused. I'm just confused, I guess. You got something else to say?
Yes, sir. While I've been incarcerated, I have asked God to forgive me for the things that I did to her. And, and I just ask for forgiveness. I just want them to know that I still care about them and their feelings.
Okay. Let me just make sure I don't this couldn't get any more boogered up than what it already is. Oh, that's all. That's all I got, Mr. Chairman. I'm frustrated.
Ms. Stapleton, do you have any questions?
I sure do. I
Right.
want to ask you about 2016. I see here in 2016 in Tangipahoa, there was other charges brought against you. Domestic abuse battery of a pregnant victim, domestic abuse battery by strangulation, resisting an officer by flight, cruelty to juveniles. So the domestic abuse battery in 2016 of a pregnant woman, who was that woman?
That's my baby mama.
Baby mom.
Yes,
So that's
ma'am.
not Miss Harvey?
No, ma'am. That's what it's all about. I was cheating and I made kids on them and stuff like that.
So you were with Miss Harvey during that time?
Yes, ma'am.
And so then you had another lady.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Part of that also was a home invasion.
It
What was
was
that about?
it was a big misunderstanding.
I guarantee you. So let me ask you this. Let me tell you what a perfect storm is in Louisiana for a homicide. The perfect storm is a domestic abuse battery of a pregnant victim. And then when you add strangulation, the number one cause of death for pregnant women is domestic abuse battery. And then the number one cause of death just by domestic abuse battery is strangulation.
Yes, ma'am.
So what in the heck happened that you did that to this woman? And another thing, before you finish, I want to ask you this one. Cruelty to juveniles. Now, we're seeing here where we've got actually aggravated rape of little girls, and it was pled down to cruelty to juveniles. What did you do to those juveniles?
I was really mean to them. I did not sex with them no kind of way. No kind of way.
You just beat them up?
No. I just was mean to them. I used to kick them out the room. I used to do stuff like that. I used to not let them go outside and play and stuff like that. The mom twisted everything up. But, that's how it be. Females, that's how it be.
Yeah, because you got in 2018, you got a domestic abuse battery against you with children present. Is that Miss Harvey?
That's the same female. She pressed charges on me the whole time. She controlled him. She pressed charges on me the whole time. We was together.
Miss Harvey was controlling, or this other lady, the baby mama?
No, Miss Harvey.
All right. So, but the other lady was the one you beat up, and she was pregnant and she was strangulated. And so how did Miss Harvey have anything to do with that?
No, that's my baby mom. Like,
right. So she pressed charge. So we got two women that you've done this to.
No, just one. She put.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
It's two different situations, yo. It's two different.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. And two different situations of violence too. So I agree with Mr. Prater. And I agree with Miss Harvey, who called in on behalf of her children. Their lives are forever altered. And you, sir, are a child predator. And you are a danger to society when you do get out, because nobody's going to see you coming again. I don't have any more questions.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Stapleton. Mr. Johnson, I heard you say earlier that you apologized to the mother and you didn't say anything about the kids.
I apologize to the mother and the kids, the family.
Okay, but you just said the mother in your first statement. That's what kind of caught my eye. And when I was reading through this case, I see where the children were interviewed. And I really don't like going through that because it really, kids, kind of screws them up. But they were saying the things that was happening, and you think the mother encouraged them to say those things?
That mother, I'm not playing the victim, but she's something.
I see. I have no questions, no more questions. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Prater?
Deny for a number of reasons. As I went over, he is not admitting to, you don't get an obscenity charge and plead guilty to an obscenity charge because you won't let the kids go out to play. And so he's not admitting to even what he pled guilty to. And so I have a problem with that. He's going to be getting out next year anyway. And so I don't think he served enough time for the offense that he committed. And I'll leave it at that.
Ms. Stapleton?
I agree with what Mr. Prater just said. He has not served enough time for the offense that he committed. Also, he has an extremely violent history toward women and children based upon his extensive criminal history of violence, those two things.
Thank you so much. My vote is to deny also. Mr. Johnson, your parole has been denied, and this concludes our business with you today.